Hi, I'm Paul Brodie. We're back in the shop. Mitch is operating the cameras. And we're going to do some work today on Excelsiors. It's the pedal cranks. These are the castings. It's 4130, if I remember right. So I got these made down in Idaho, I think. And Jeff Willis, I think he orchestrated this. So this is what goes through the eccentric, and this is the shaft that fits into the eccentric on the frame, and there's a bushing on either end. I made these up in this last week, so those get pressed in. We're going to use the arbor press, and then this is the pedal crank, and so this has to be made to fit this. This has to go inside there, so you can see how much comes off. There's a lot that comes off, and I've got a drawing here. I did the drawing in March of 2007, so you can see how long I've been working on these Excelsiors, a long time. Started in 2005. I've sold 5 of them. This has to be held in the lathe. We're going to put a center drill in here, so the center locates this. And then you could hold this in a 4-jaw, but this is pretty small. So what I did, I had some 15/16, and I bored this out so it fits on there. We'll just hammer that on a little bit. Got a 2-pound hammer. And then I'm gonna TIG weld this on. And then this will get held in the chuck, in the 3-jaw, in the lathe. And then this will be machined, because this is going to be kind of wobbly. There we go, that's on there. And then this can get held in the 3-jaw. This is going to be in the center. I'm going to use a live center. It's going to be out of balance because this is going to be swinging around. So I've got a C-clamp. The C-clamp is going to held on to one of the jaws in the chuck, and that's going to make this fairly well balanced. This is in my notes, which C-clamp to use. It's the one with the red tape, so there could be no mistake. So what we'll do first of all is to TIG weld this. Then we'll go to the arbor press. We'll press in the bushings. These are 954 bronze. I didn't have any 880. Hard to get bronze these days. So thanks for joining us. Let's go to the TIG welder. Here we go. That's what it looks like. Oh, a little bit of interference. There we go. That's a good fit. That was about half a thou interference, if I remember. We've got the cranks here on the Excelsior, on the race bike. All the cranks are used for is a place to put your feet. On the road-going version, there's a sprocket here and a chain that connects to the rear wheel, and that helps you when you're starting the bike. But on the race bike, they don't have that. So we got the pedals. This is a left-hand thread because it's on the left side, and this is the right-hand thread. So what's going to happen is after we machine this down, this goes back into the mill, and we tap right-hand thread and we tap left-hand thread over here. It's like a bicycle. So what I wanted to show you was on the crank, it's a three-sided taper. And I guess this is from years ago. I tried to find a regular bicycle crank. I went upstairs and all my parts. I don't have a bicycle crank, an extra one. All the cranks are on bicycles. What a bicycle has now is 4. If there is a taper, it's a 4. But back in 1919 on Excelsior, it was 3. So things have changed. We're going to go to the lathe and we're going to machine this down so that it's concentric with the shaft. And then we'll put it in the mill. I've got a fixture and we're going to drill a center hole right in the middle. So I got room. It's not going to hit. All right, so you can see how this has a wobble to it, can't you? So maybe I can, I'll mark it with a felt pen and then I'll give it a tap with my hammer. Let's see what happens. Got to make sure this doesn't hit a hand. That would hurt. So if I do it like that, that'll work. Okay, so you can see where it's, okay, it's high right here. That's easy. No, it doesn't bend that easy. This is 4130, so we'll set up the up a tool. Okay, that's a witness mark. That's what you call it in machine shops. If you're taking off a small amount and you want to show the customer that you didn't take off too much, you leave a witness mark. Okay, so that's good. So we'll take it out. We'll go to the mill now. We'll center drill the other end. I need to find the center more or less. So I take a washer, and the washer is the same size as the shaft here. And then I take my felt pen, red Sharpie. So then I end up with that. So then what I do is to eyeball the center drill into the middle of the red circle. And that's going to be close enough because it has to be taken down to 7/16, and this is a little bit over 1/2 inch, so it'll work fine. I made up this fixture here years ago. And because how do you hold this in a vertical position? It's very, very hard. If you hold it down here, you got so much movement. So this, it's a V block, and I put it like that. And then I just take a C-clamp and I hold it. All right, so this is held vertical now. Do you see what I had to do? This is the, I'm not sure what you call this. I had to angle this. This is normally at a 90. So I moved it over so that I can move this around now. So I'll go switch on the phase converter, start the mill, center it, and drill a center hole. Got it at about 1,000 RPM. All right, so we have a center hole now. So this goes back into the lathe. Hold it here, use the C-clamp as the counterweight. Let's see how it works. So I got 50 thou to take off. That should clean up. Carbide threading tool, insert. So you see what happens? When I come to the end of the thread, I disengage at the 0. Okay, we're going to take the first cut and then we're going to check the pitch and see if we got this right. So I've got my red felt pen there, and then I'm going to match up the thread. Okay, I think we're good. My eyes aren't quite what they used to be. I am 71. Okay, I don't know if you could see that, but I switched it off when the tool bit was about right there, because it takes this long for the lathe to slow down. That's what's going on. See it cutting? And it says I go to a depth of 31 thou. So we'll see how that works out. So that was 12. I'm at 12 now. Okay, so needs a little more cut. Just a All right, so that should go on just a little bit easier now. There we go, look at that. I can't detect any slop there. So we're good. So next step is to machine all this. And this has to be a certain width. So I'm going to check my drawing. So it comes down quite a bit. Can you see here? See how that's been ground off? That's where the gates were for when the casting is poured. Goes in here and around and probably comes out the other side. because the bearings or the bushings are on each end. So in the middle, you need a little bit of clearance. It does not all have to be the same size. So okay, so that looks about right. So I need to cut away that. Okay, have you seen what happens here? This got really hot, and then I wasn't machining for a while, so it shrunk. Can you see how there's a gap here now? So it vibrates. Because, see that? See how much play there is? Because it shrunk. That's why it had a chatter. So this should go on now up until there. Okay? So what we do now is to make this so it just has like a thou or so. It's not crucial. I'm going to polish one of these, the insides of this, because one's a little smaller than the other. Okay, that's good. Needs a little bit of fine tuning here, but that'll just wear in. Okay, a little bit of slop, but that's okay. All right, let's do the threads now, and then we're basically done. Okay, we have some more eyeball here. I've got a washer. The washer is the right size to fit over here. And then I take my center drill, and that's close enough. So this crank is left-hand thread. I remember one, I think I mixed one, or I almost mixed one up one time. You have to be thinking straight when you're working on this. I did go down quite a ways. That fits on like that. I have to work on the taper a bit because it's not great, but what I'm hoping is that when I put on the washer, it's going to hold it. I think the taper is not a great match, so what I want to do is to work on the taper, because I think that if I work on the taper, it could change the angle a little bit. So I'm going to finish this off later, but from working on this side, you know what goes on, how I mark it out with the felt pen and the washer. I drill it and all that. So we're going to leave it right there. And I want to thank you for watching, especially if you come all this way. Mitch and I like coffees. If you buy us coffees, it really helps the channel a lot. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. We are slowly heading up to 100,000 viewers. I think we're almost at 90 now, so if you subscribe, that would be excellent. See you next time.